Hey guys, welcome back to another unit spotlight video. Kings here, and today we're going to be covering over a recently buffed unit in Season 10, the Sipahis. The Sipahis are a long-standing elite cavalry unit. However, they have not really been used, and quite a lot of you newer players will probably never have seen this unit used up until this point. It was the second most underused unit. I think it was the second to last used unit in ranked on the rankings. But they've recently changed the unit, they've buffed a few things, and we'll be taking a look at how viable it is, both from just a casual play all the way through to whether or not this is a viable unit for territory war. So sit back, enjoy, and as always the first thing that we'll be covering is the veterancy line and the doctrines, and then we'll move into some gameplay. Okay, so let's take a look at Sipahis. Okay, so there's first few things we should talk about with this unit. They've recently had an update and a patch in Season 10. They were the second least used unit in the game, based on the rank statistics, but generally, having played this game for multiple seasons, you hardly ever saw this unit ever being played. The major changes that were made was they used to have something called quick charge. They've completely stripped that out and changed it to just be a standard charge. But they've added a second ability within the charge. It's called Impassioned, and what that does is it enables the unit to stun units or players for 4.5 seconds and increase the damage to the stunned enemy by 30%. When they use Conqueror, which we'll go through in a minute, which is one of their other abilities, they get a 1 second immune to CC and a 20% increase in defense. So we'll talk about some of these changes, but they are definitely a buff. But whether or not this unit is viable for high-level play in things like territory war, or whether it even comes close to using some of the other really strong cav like Kashyyyks at the moment, or as it's an epic cavalry, if we compare it to Armiger Lancers, does it compare? And I think the general consensus, as we'll discuss, is this unit is much more of a situational unit. So let's get into the details. So it's 245 leadership, which is a bit above average. We'll talk about the veterancy first. So bit of a quick one here. The bottom line is increased blunt damage against infantry, reduces quick charge, which this is still outdated. It's now no longer called quick charge, it's just charge. Increased blunt damage by 2%, increased health, and increased blunt damage to infantry. And then finally, using quick charge or charge increases damage by 15% for 8 seconds. On the top line, however, we've got a lot of damage reduction, increased slashing defense, Conqueror's cooldown by 2, and then increase Conqueror's cooldown by another 2. Now, I'm still in the phase of testing, but so far I've tested both lines, and the bottom line seems to be a bit stronger due to the sheer amount of infantry output and the amount of CC that this unit does. Generally, it doesn't. Generally the tank is nice. The unit does die pretty quickly if not used correctly. And the Conqueror is also very nice. So at the moment I'm in bottom line, but you could go top line. There's also some strong reasons for going top line. Extra tank and increased damage increased Conqueror is always good. So again, let's talk about the abilities here. Some fairly low health for such a heavily, will look to be heavily armoured unit. Their defences, again, not the strongest in the world, but still pretty average. What really should be said here is no piercing, no slashing, and pure blunt penetration and blunt damage. Now this is very good because blunt damage, if you didn't know, blunt damage for the most part ignores armor. So slashing and pen, an armor pen in a lot of cases completely ignores armor when it comes to blunt damage. It's what's commonly referred to as true damage, in games like World of Warcraft and other things. So let's quickly move to the abilities here. So, Call Under Fire greatly increases defense and makes a small improvement to the unit's speed for 10 seconds after first round of damage taken. This effect will be reset after launching Conqueror or leaving combat. Very interesting. This is a very good one. Assassin, when using Conqueror, deals additional damage to heroes. After defeating a hero, damage dealt will increase by 30% for a short period. We'll talk about this in a bit of detail in a minute. Resistant to flame and flame resistant, so pretty resistant all around. to fire damage. Okay, so doctrines. Now, I will say I don't have the best doctrines for this unit at the moment, but you can see that we've gone for pure blunt damage. Again, the way that this unit, or I have built this unit, is to be a bit of a one-shot, where you send it in and you do as much damage as you can. You break up unit formations, you break up shield formations, and then your unit perishes pretty fast, but it does do the job that it's supposed to do, which is to break up frontline formations and disrupt enemy heroes. We've got things like Breakthrough Doctrine, the Assassination Doctrine, Blunt, Epic Blunt Armor Pen, and increased blunt damage by 90, and then some health. Now, I would upgrade this to either blue or purple, but I simply don't have the Doctrine at this time. You could build this slightly differently and just have a lot of defense, as they do already have high blunt damage, but I'm just testing different things, and at the moment this has been more successful than others, but as I unlock more Doctrines, I'll update the description in the comment section with any changes that I've made or edits I've made to this unit ahead of the video launch. Great, so let's that's pretty much the unit breakdown. Let's get into the formations and see how the skills work. Okay, Sipahis, looking very nice in their formation there. So we have 3 formations. We have Dispersed, which is just a loose formation, Block formation, how you're seeing them now, and Line formation, which is just a 2 single line looking like this. Very, very simple stuff. Pretty basic. So we have some guys coming at us here. We're going to use our charge, and you notice they have a second ability in the charge. We're going to press 1, and the unit will start jumping up and down, killing the unit around them, doing additional damage, and so on and so forth. Pretty good at, it's all blunt damage, so it's going straight through the armor. The horse is doing all the damage. So the second ability is called Conqueror, and this is the one we were talking about that does additional damage. Crowd control effect, immunity, and increase health HP, so we'll do the same thing, and we'll press 2. And you can also do a quick charge of 1, and then you can press that as well, and they'll do the same thing again. So again, it's a very situational unit. You do not want to just charge this unit directly at the enemy. They will vaporize very, very quickly if used incorrectly. So let's get into some gameplay, and let's see how these guys are used. So the first clip we have here, we're on Conqueror City, and I have the Sipahis out, running about. So the first thing to say here is, of all the cavalry, the Sipahis are arguably the slowest. They are exceptionally slow for cavalry. I mean, you can run or sprint alongside them when they're in full kind of run. Obviously, the charge is a bit quicker. So in this case, we're looking for an opportunity to snipe. Iron Reapers, we'll lose to them. Typically not the best unit to charge cavalry into. They're pretty tanky and they can deal pretty well. So we're going to have a look down here. We can see some units running away. I think this might be a good time. Unfortunately, I take a treb hit, which leaves me with half the unit on HP, low HP. See some medals down there. Probably, again, not the best charge there. It's going to be difficult for us to heal this unit in any given time. So we're looking for the opportunity to use it. The enemy are pushing the main point, and this is probably the best opportunity that we have. So we're going to try and set up here, but unfortunately some of the cav actually got caught up there. We're going to activate our first ability and then activate Conqueror, giving them CC immunity. And as you can see, they're just jumping around all over the point, creating a lot of CC, but unfortunately we don't have any backup, but we did get ourselves a nice kill, giving us an increase in damage by 30% for our Sipahis, but there's just not many of them left. So probably not the best engagement there. In this clip, we're actually seeing a large volume of enemies running away from us, and in this case, nobody is guarding the behind. There's some medals, there's some axe raiders, there's some 40s. Probably by the time we get round there, it's gonna not be the best call. So we have a look down the next street, and yeah, we can see them moving along there. Again, medals facing our way. We don't particularly want to engage into a heavy infantry anti-cav unit, so we're going to try our luck on the third street here while they're pushing the supply point. Check down here to see anything. No. Palace Guards embrace. Nothing too serious. And here we are. Nothing watching behind. We're going to bring our Sipahis around the back here. And a bit of a rough charge here, but we're going to get an in here. We're going to break up the 40s as they turn. We're going to activate 1, creating that damage buff. And then activate Conqueror CC reduction, and you can see the complete carnage that is going on that point. Now, notice that we're not doing a huge amount of unit kills there, but most units perish, and we have a second and a third cavalry unit coming in, and again, we're picking up ourselves another kill with the Conqueror there. In this final clip, we have a perfect engagement. We can see the enemy are forming up and pushing us back on the supply point. We're going to use the cav to come around the side here. Again, nobody's paying attention. Unfortunately, we're a little bit slow, but as we come round, we're going to engage. Nice, perfect cav charge. We're going to activate one when they get close enough, and then activate Conqueror, give them a damage buff as a glaive, and start causing some serious damage to this cav here. As you can see, the numbers going up and up and up for the unit kill. Unfortunately, there's 3 or 4 heroes there, all quite tanky. They dispatch me pretty quickly, but overall, a pretty damn good engagement. So as you can see, it's not the most overpowered unit. The changes are more of a balance, and I would say that this is a much more situational unit than it is an out-and-outright cav unit that you can use like Kashyyyks or Armiger Lancers. But it's a very good change, and I'm very much enjoying them. I'm still testing them out in different ways, so if you have a better setup for them, by all means leave a comment, come onto the Discord, or by all means drop a comment on the stream when we Twitch. Thanks very much. This has been Kings. See you in the next one.